All right, Sidious Mag live from Paris, powered by Asics, and we've got our first guest visiting us at the Sidious HQ. It's Asics' own Peyton Otterdahl, who is coming off a fourth place finish in the men's shot put final. Goes nicely with after his fifth place finish last year at the World Championships. Peyton, congratulations! That was an incredible performance out there. Then on top of that, congratulations on the engagement. I saw the photos you put up on Instagram yesterday.
Thank you. Glad to be back here talking to you guys. Yeah, it's been a kind of an eventful few days for sure.
What was the plan behind? I'm engaged right now. Wedding coming up next month. What was the plan for you with the engagement?
There's a lot of things that had to fall into place for this to work. I had a plan actually made up from last summer, and I found out that there was a competition in Switzerland that pays you in diamonds.
Mm-hmm.
So the first step was to make the Olympic team, because I thought, all right, if I can make the Olympic team, I'll get into that meet. And if I do well there, I can earn the diamonds and then propose in the city of love, Paris, like no better place in Europe to do so. And I just had a lot of boxes I had to check. And luckily I was checking them off and on. The last and probably the hardest checked box was I was actually going to propose in the stadium immediately after if I had medaled.
Okay.
The Eiffel Tower was the backup plan just in case I didn't. I was real close to doing it, but I think the Eiffel Tower makes it a little more romantic than a stadium, so it worked out great. And most importantly, she said yes. So
there we go.
That was
that's a big box to check.
Yes.
It's like you can win all the diamonds.
The last and the biggest box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what have you made of this Olympic experience compared to Tokyo? Vastly different in the sense that, like, even from the village experience, you can get around, interact with like your teammates, your family and friends, and all your closest supporters are here. But overall, what have you made of the experience being here?
It's been great. It's definitely different. Like, Tokyo was a fantastic experience in its own way. I'm very thankful I was able to make a second Olympic team to get a little bit more of a normal Olympic experience. The best part has been my friends and family able to come here and watch and support. That means the most to me. But apart from that, yeah, it's a little more relaxed in the village. Everybody was so locked in, face masks, everything, social distancing in Tokyo, because if you were to test positive for COVID, that was like, before you competed, that was a death sentence. Mm-hmm. There was nothing you could do. So everyone was being very careful, and you stayed kind of around the same people in Tokyo. So here, been branching out a lot more, been mingling with the other teams much, much more, learning more about the other sports, and it's been very fun in that sense.
So I just watched a clip from the mix zone this morning where Rai Benjamin was talking about how everyone got together last night and watched the 100 from, it looked like it was the Team USA High Performance Center, and everyone's going crazy and reacting. And he talked about how there is an actual sort of palpable feeling of momentum. When Team USA is doing well, it does lift up sort of everyone across all of the different disciplines. Is that something that you also kind of felt, being early on in the schedule, but still there was some success by some of your Team USA teammates?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and it just goes across other sports too. We've been seeing all the other sports, the swimming, rugby, volleyball got started early, all these other fencing, like everything got started before. So like seeing them have success, yeah, that definitely drives us. I think that we were the second final for track and field. So we didn't get to see too many of our teammates medal yet, but we got to see Grant Fisher get a medal in the 10,000, which was just awesome to see the night before. And then it was our turn next. So I'd say that we're all pretty motivated, and I think it's going still. Team USA is doing a pretty good job so far in athletics.
To kind of play off that question a bit, we've been hearing so much about how electric the stadium is and what it's like. You've performed in front of some big crowds before. Does it feel different competing here as opposed to Budapest last year, as opposed to the trials in Eugene?
It's treated as any other meet. I mean, obviously we love the loud crowd. That's pretty cool. They're electric. It was incredibly loud down there on the field, which is what you want for a competition. I would say, though, the only main difference for the Olympics is there's much more hoops to jump through, I suppose. In Budapest, you didn't have quite as much walking getting from place to place. The call rooms are a little easier. The warm-up track's a little easier to access. So it's just more outside the competition that you kind of have to deal with in the Olympics compared to other majors. But everybody's still just as focused either way.
Yeah, that call room, I guess, like there were cameras, I think, in the stadium that were showing what was taking place in the call room. What are those moments like before the Olympic final where it's sort of like, yeah, everything's been gearing up for this? I kind of recall seeing like Ryan sitting down talking to a couple different guys, laughing at one point. Joe is standing up, not sitting down, and he seemed like pretty locked in and intense. Leonardo Fabri is like walking up and down. So what are those moments like in the lead up?
It kind of varies by person to person, like you said. A lot of us are joking around, just screwing around to pass the time and keep things light. Others are not talking to anyone. They're very locked in. They're focused on the task at hand. Others look nervous. So it's very all over the place. The veterans are usually the ones that are a little bit more relaxed, and it seems like it's the younger guys that are more locked in and not talking. But we're all kind of friends out there. We see each other at nearly every single meet. So I'm one of the people that are just screwing around. So.
This ring, I guess, here at the Stade de France, what's different about it, or how does it compare to? I guess what's the talk about Eugene? Sometimes it could be a really quick one. What was this one like?
It was a little quick. It was a lot quick once it started raining, but before that it was fine. It felt pretty good.
To talk about the rain, like what are you having to change about, like what do you have to change about your approach and your throw when the circle does get wet?
It's kind of the thing is you don't want to change anything. You're trying not to let the rain get to your head. And it's definitely hard when you're seeing people falling.
They were slipping all over.
Yeah,
Slipping. It's like, how do you hit a throw full force in these conditions and not have that at the back of your mind? Like, you don't want to eat it and hurt yourself doing so. But at the same time, like, this is the Olympics. This is the most important meet of the year. We have to go for it. So it's a tough one to push that into the back of your mind and still try to execute your throws.
It's got to be one of the most dangerous events to do with the rain. I mean, like you saw these guys slip, and it's like, oh man, and it's not just you guys are the biggest guys out there. It's got to be. It looks like there's a potential for a gnarly injury when it gets wet like that.
Yeah, being most of us out there are over 300 pounds, so like when we fall hard, and it was an ice rink out there. It's tough because it's the same conditions for all of us. So that's why we have outdoor track. Like we'd throw indoors if we wanted to get rid of all weather conditions. It's just part of it. Who can overcome the rough conditions the most? And some of us definitely did that. Like Joe for sure. Like clutched up huge in round 6. Like that's huge. That just goes to show how great of a competitor he is. And just, the experience that he brings into a meet like this. This isn't the first time we've seen Joe go huge in round 6. Yeah. So it's definitely an awesome thing to see.
I guess, like, could you explain it for the casual fan who maybe doesn't have quite as big of an understanding of the impact of the rain on the ring, right? Like, I think of Formula One, when as soon as, like, there's the weather report out there that the clouds are incoming and it's going to start raining in about, like, 2 or 3 minutes, that, like, everyone's strategy has to change. It did start pouring, but like, is there a threshold to like, all right, this drizzle is okay, but then at some point it did start to get pretty bad?
It started raining at the beginning of round 3 and it was fine. It wasn't until, sorry.
Oh, it's all good.
1 second.
It's all good.
As Nubani, my agent, so supposed to get lunch with him after this, but
he's waiting in the restaurant.
Yeah. Anyway, where was I? There's not like a certain threshold with the rain. There is kind of a sweet spot where it's really rough, and that's when the ring just gets slick. Once it starts to like puddle up in there, the wetness actually slows it down a tad. So that was kind of one of the issues with how the officials were handling it, and some of the athletes too. They were trying to wipe it off, but at that point there's nothing you can do. It's just going to make it slicker. One of the things they could have done to maybe slow it down is to actually pour more water in.
Really?
Are you allowed to do? Can you do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's like
That'd be something
yeah.
the officials would have to do, but
You couldn't go dump a water bottle in there.
no. And I'm sure
No.
some of the competitors who were trying to dry it off would probably be pretty upset with me if I did that.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, is that there's just no consensus on how do we handle the ring, so you kind of just have to leave it as is and go for it.
Fourth place, but it's like the farthest throw ever for someone to finish fourth at one of these global championships. It's bittersweet, but like, what does that say about the state of the men's shot put right now globally?
It's definitely on the rise for sure. Like, this isn't the most fourth place is ever taken at a major, but it is the most that it's ever taken at the Olympics. So
Yeah.
to see that kind of improvement is pretty crazy, where you have 4 guys over 22 meters in a meet, and fourth place through second place is only 12 centimeters. So that kind of tightness makes for an exciting competition. And unfortunately, I was just on the short end of it. I can't complain too much. It's my highest finish ever at a major. Second Olympics, and I'm still sort of one of the younger guys out there, so I like to think that my better days are ahead of me. But it's good motivation for training going forward and the next majors that are coming up.
I mean, like you just said, you went fifth and then fourth this year. It's still, you just competed, but what are some areas that you see yourself kind of what's it take to get onto the podium at the next World Championships?
Staying the course. I think one of the bigger things is getting healthy. Had a few injuries plaguing the last few seasons, so like everything hasn't been just quite right yet. So being healthy first and foremost, so that I can train hard, get stronger. You always need that as a shot putter. And then I still see a lot of areas in my throw where the technique can be improved. It's such a technical event. I always compare it to golf. A lot's happening in a little bit of time, so certain technical cues can really make a big difference.
Going back a little bit to just like the overall Team USA experience here, and on that note of getting stronger, is it kind of cool, I guess, kind of being exposed and seeing to, the U.S. weightlifting team is out here, and I think you guys share the same gym. Like, what has that sort of also been like? And I saw photos of people posing with each other, and people are posting it to their stories. So there's like a very mutual respect between kind of like both disciplines.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone that's here that's competing is an Olympian. They're the best in their sport. So we love talking to each other and learning how each other's mindset is, what goes into being at their level. It's very exciting. And also, like, among the weightlifters, some of them are former throwers themselves. So just talking with them, and like they're fangirling for us, we're fangirling for them, and wanting pictures with each other. It's a cool thing.
Is there a point, I guess, like, this is just, at what point in a person's career, if they were a shot putter, is there enough time to make that transition to weightlifting that they could go reach the Olympic level? Is it sort of like post-collegiately, or?
I think it depends on the athlete.
Okay.
There's absolutely no future for me in Olympic weightlifting, but there might be for Joe.
Yeah.
I mean, he's ridiculously strong, so he's one that I see could probably make a career out of it if he wanted to. People like me, there's no hope for that, so I'd have to find a different sport.
Would you say it's mostly technique, and then you want to be freakishly strong on top of that? Do you feel like you can be really strong and learn that technique? What would you say is kind of like the breakdown on what it takes to throw really far?
For sure. I mean, technique is probably the king. Like, you want to be a shot putter first, a weightlifter second, or maybe even a weightlifter third and an athlete second. Yeah. There's different ways to think about it. Just being a well-rounded athlete is something that a lot of coaches look for, and a lot of shot putters also want to be. You want to be not so one-dimensional where that's all you can do, but like, you're athletic enough to do other things that transitions well and carries over well to the shot put. So, but technique is always king. Without technique, you can take the strongest man in the world and give him a shot put. I don't know if you've seen that video. It's a video of Eddie Hall trying shot put.
Yeah, I think
and he threw it like 14 meters. So, and he's way stronger than the rest of us. So, yes, technique is the most important thing.
I was just thinking sort of about like the famous stories that come after the Olympics typically, it's like, because this is the moment where shot putters are in the spotlight. There's probably a couple football coaches out there watching, and then there's the headline that comes a couple weeks later. It's like, oh, Ryan Krauser got invited to whatever it was, the Colts like training camp or whatever it might have been. Have any opportunity like that ever come about for you?
Funnily enough, I actually did also receive an email from the Colts
Really?
when I graduated college, asking me to come in. But it was certainly tempting from a financial standpoint. But I had goals that I wanted to achieve in shot put first. Obviously not financial goals, but just things I wanted to do yet. So I turned it down respectfully. But I think that they like our size a little bit.
Yeah, at this point, just sort of when you guys have been so committed to shot put, too late to turn back for football and pick it back up again, or no?
At this point, I don't know. I know that there are certain shot putters that are, like, for fun. They're trying out either this year or the next year. So we'll see if there's a place for them. I know there was a couple other shot putters too that when they came out of college, they made practice squads. So it's definitely something that could be looked at. The money's the most tempting thing for sure, but I don't know if it's worth all of the injuries that come along with being a football player.
Totally. So as we kind of now look after Paris, like for you, building out your whole calendar of events, like has it been just sort of like, so, all right, Olympic Games, and beyond that, we'll think about it on August 5th, or do you already have things lined up that you're like, I want to go here, here, and here to, finish out the season and close it out, strong?
Yep, I've already got my whole lineup ready to go for the end of the season. The only one that's up in the air is making the Diamond League final, but I've got 3 more chances to earn points and get there. So, yeah, I have my whole schedule's already all chosen and ready.
Are you going to stay in Europe for a bit and enjoy it over here? Or are you going to head right back to the States?
I'll be going home for a couple weeks. I've been here for 3 weeks, so it'll be good to go home and take care of my pets and such, and get some training at home before I come back over and finish the season.
That's right. You brought up the pets when we were in Eugene. Who's taking care of them, and what have they been the last couple of weeks?
Well, my now fiance was taking care of them until she got over here. But that's the good thing about reptiles, is that they don't need quite as much attention as my other pets do. My roommate is taking care of my dog, and he actually just had ACL surgery, so
What?
he's on the mend. He's getting better. So I got to get back and see him because he actually had the surgery while I was over here. So I got to get back and take care of my boy.
Oh. Your roommate was looking after your dog, and your dog got ACL surgery?
He had the surgery when Maddie was still at home.
Okay.
And,
I'm like, man, he had a lot of responsibility on dog duty.
No.
Yeah.
She was with him for a week and a half before he had to leave post-op.
Yeah. All right. Well, looking ahead next year, Tokyo. When does the planning start for that? Is there time in the fall or?
Yep. I mean, the planning starts as soon as I start training again. I'll be taking a little bit of a break after the season's done. I have a couple injuries that need time to heal, and once they're feeling good, it's full go. All eyes are set on Tokyo.
And then wedding planning.
Of course.
Awesome. Well, Peyton, we appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us. Congratulations on your 4th place finish, and we're looking forward to seeing what you've got in store. On the way to that Diamond League final, and then, of course, looking ahead to Tokyo next year.
Thank you. Appreciate you having me on again.
Awesome. All right, we'll be right back soon, and we'll bring on Karen Lesowitz to kick off Good Morning Track and Field with Eric Jenkins.
That's good too.
All right, you're on.
Bonjour, track and field fans. Welcome to the morning show. I'm Karen Lesowitz. We have Eric Jenkins here, two-time NCAA champion, 7-year pro, amazing red hat wearer. We are missing someone, I would say, noteworthy here, but really, we're physically missing him. Are we emotionally missing him?
I miss him.
Okay.
I miss him. I love that guy.
Yeah.
I do. So we just interviewed Peyton
Yep.
Otterdahl, Asics athlete, thrower,
Right.
4th place finish. Now, I wonder if Mitch is excited he's missing today's show, how he feels about it.
Right.
Because there are certain times where it's like he comes in, he does we've talked about it, he does the morning sessions to the track.
Yeah.
He comes in, we're already like kind of sitting here waiting,
Mm-hmm.
and you can tell I think he's a bit like, damn it.
I got to be up here.
Damn it.
I got to be on.
Can I get a second? And I'm like, because I've missed him a lot. I've missed him all morning.
Yeah.
And so it's like,
really
you
have.
see those videos of someone coming home from work and their dog just kind of like being overexcited to see him.
Right.
A lot of the times that's what's going on when Mitch gets back from the morning session.
You're the dog.
And he's like, I would like some time. I'm the dog in this scenario.
Okay.
He's like, I'd like some time to decompress. And we're like, the mics are hot.
Right,
So
you
you got to
gotta
get
be
in
on.
there. You got to be on.
Yeah.
So I think he might be enjoying missing this show.
I think so. I wish we had a live feed of him right now, just at the track, chatting it up. Yeah. I mean, if we can FaceTime him in, I want to know exactly where he's at. Are we confident he got home last night from the train? I mean, he was talking about fearing for his life a little bit on there.
No, he was talking about beating the shit out of it. Like the other people should have been fearing for their lives on the train.
Maybe he's in jail then.
There's a good chance. I think I could have seen him this morning, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
Our first day at the track was yesterday.
Right.
A lot of hype was made about how bad the train ride is from the track. Right.
Right.
Everybody in the city's house has been like, it's hell.
Yeah.
It's gonna be honestly like, just prepare for it.
Right.
One of the best train rides, easiest I've been on in a very long time. I mean, you wait in line for maybe 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
We were lucky enough that we were the first because you wait in line and then they rope off
Mm-hmm.
the train area, so it's not
To go
complete
home.
to go
Right.
home, so it's
Yeah.
not complete chaos.
Yeah.
So we kind of were like, we just missed the train. So we were going to be first in line for the next train. So we got seats. They didn't even like overstuff the train.
Yeah.
You see those videos of a train in
help
like
me.
Japan,
Yeah.
and they're just like literally packing them in.
Mm-hmm.
None of that.
Nothing.
Everyone kind of had space.
Yeah.
And then the train ride itself is maybe, I don't know, 18 minutes.
It's pretty short. I
It's
was
all-
expecting
yeah.
it to be like a feat, like a journey. Like we're older when we get there. Someone's aged. Someone has glasses on, in the movies. But we were the same, if not better, younger. I want to say.
Younger. A Benjamin Button type train.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, great train ride.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's about the same tonight.
Right. No, and when you're talking about this in such, enthusiasm, I knew this was the train ride home because I want to be clear, for the train ride there, I got lost and left.
Yeah, we left.
Left.
We did.
I got left.
we
I'm
did,
sorry. I
yeah.
said left wrong.
Yeah.
I got abandoned.
Yeah. We did. There was
There was a mishap.
a mishap. Yeah.
Right. One might say
And
tunnel vision.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
there was a split.
Mm-hmm.
You got left with Kyle.
Which arguably a good person to be left
Well,
with.
that's why I think
Yeah.
everyone was like, she's fine. She's with Kyle.
Right, and you knew that immediately.
Yeah, and we're like, okay, they're fine. They're gonna figure it out.
Right.
How did you get? What?
Yeah.
What were you guys doing? Like, what was Kyle getting
For sure.
coffee? Like, it seemed like at one second, you guys were right behind us. And then all of a sudden, we go down looking for waiting for the train, and we're like, okay, well, Karen and Kyle
Right.
aren't
and
here.
you were the one that was like, hold on, we can't get on this train. Karen's not here.
And then Mac was like, who? I was like, Karen. And yeah. So what were,
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell was going on?
Thank you for being so concerned.
Yeah.
You know, today, a full day later. I got tripped up with the apps. I'm gonna say it. There's a lot of apps here. I've got the Bolt app. I've got the Lime Scooter app. I've got the Tickets app, and then I've got the IDF Mobilities app. I think that's the one I should have been in. I also had forgotten.
Hold on.
No, is that not it? Is this
Hold
the
on.
problem?
This is the problem.
Okay. No, we found it.
Number one, too many apps. Number two, I actually was meaning to bring this up. The
Okay.
Train app is over here, maybe the best app I've ever used in my life.
Like the simplest, and if you get it mixed up, something's probably wrong.
No,
with
no.
you.
Not only do we bought the week purchase, the week, train,
the monthly. I think I did monthly.
The week ride. Wow. You shouldn't be on the show. You should be out riding the train. But you don't even need to pull up the app on the phone to use it. So you literally
Yeah.
your phone can be off too.
And it's the Apple
And you
Pay.
just put your phone up against the reader and it lets you right in.
If you get into the Apple Pay.
No. It's not even, you don't even need to get into the Apple Pay.
And this is what happened. I was trying to do all the things but that.
Okay, because all you needed to do was literally put your phone on it.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
just it was in this turmoil, and then I look up and it was just the backs of all of you guys, and it laughing. You guys were having a good time.
Yeah, we were having a really good time.
like almost joyous, like, wow, this is all the people we ever needed.
Yeah, I'm like,
and no one's missing.
yeah.
And then Kyle, just from the crowd is like, hey, like, because he's got the dad instincts, because he's
He can
like,
he can tell you're flustered.
right. He's empathetic. He's he's a girl dad. I think he was like he was like someone didn't make it, and then he saw me, and then we were so late. We were like, let's optimize this and make it better. Let's get a coffee.
Oh,
and so that's
okay.
where the coffee came in.
I see.
But anyway, we all got there. We got there safe and sound. Despite all that, a great transportation experience. I think you're right. Everyone's coming in here pretty shell shocked, like from war. And I mean, I don't know. Like, have you seen that SNL skit where it's like Ryan Gosling, Kate, and they get abducted by the aliens? We were like, yeah, no, different for us. We had a great time.
Yeah.
It was amazing. We also were coming off a high, though, right? From that experience in the stadium. 80,000 people on their feet. Noah Lyles, everybody. Know his name. If you don't already know his name, you know it now. It was electric, especially the light show. What was your experience, from a couple seats down?
They just did we talked about it a whole lot on Torch Talk last night, but how well they did building the hype to the 100. It was like man, it was electric in the stadium last night. They put the French DJ on, right? I'm assuming he was French.
Right.
It wouldn't make sense to have any other. He better have been French.
Right. Right.
As soon as the French DJ came on, it was sick.
Yeah.
The French DJ came on. Everyone's like, okay, it's go time. And then they shut off all the lights. Yeah. And then we had those, the wristband,
right.
the lights on the wristbands.
They were handing them out.
Them out. And they were flash. It was so cool. I thought it was so cool that when they were announcing all the competitors, the country flags were flashing. So it was like, green and yellow and black for Jamaica, red, white, blue for America when they would call it Noah Lyles, Fred Curley. It was it was so sick. They did such a good job building the hype to that. I hope that came through. For the people who are watching it, on TV.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the stadium, it was so. I really hope that they're able to incorporate that for the other events.
Yeah. I think Caitlin was saying, they didn't do anything like that for the women's 100 meter. I don't even know I don't think the women's 100 meter was even the last event for the final. I think, obviously this was a super hyped up race. I'm just hoping, yes, they do it for another sort of event. It made the experience I had like a top 5 moments in my life that was easily a top 5 moment.
Yeah.
It was super great. You could cut the tension, right before. There was like a super long duration. I think we were like, is there a commercial break going on? We didn't know what was happening, but I just think Noah Lyles coming out, the only one to, I think, run out and pump up the crowd.
This is like, I mean, like the more that's at stake,
He does better.
he's just going to do better. It was so crazy in the stadium. And he comes out and he's sprinting up and down, like runs like 50 meters out, jumping as high as he can, screaming.
Like wasting more energy
And
than
then
anyone else that came out.
When it started to get really intense, Kyle Merber was actually the one who was like, "Well, he's gonna win. Now he's definitely gonna win."
Yeah.
Just like the more pressure that's on, he just seems to do better. Good quality to have when it comes to being a 100-meter racer.
Right.
Just fantastic event, and then to also see Fred Curley come through with third, huge. Just huge.
Huge.
Not, it. I look. I think I don't want to bring it up now, but I will. You owe a shotgun.
Whoa. I do. But
I-
Mitch isn't here, and in solidarity
Oh
with
yeah,
Mitch.
no, I'm not saying right now. I wouldn't.
No,
I
not
wouldn't
right
do
now.
that.
Right.
But yeah,
But I do. You're right.
You do.
I'm in a deficit.
I barely called because I think
Yeah.
barely got it. So I think it was
7.9.
9.79.
Yeah.
Probably point not like 9.79.
You're like, but I'll still do one. You're still gonna.
Come on. Of course. I'm gonna let you two do shotgun a beer without me.
No one's winning. No one's losing.
Yeah, it's all fun.
It's all fun and games.
Yeah, they better do that for the other events. At least the sprint. It's tough to do that type of build because it's like it's perfect for the 100 and the 2, like for the sprints when there's 9 athletes.
For
Can't
sure.
quite do. It doesn't have quite the same effect when it's like a 15.
Yeah.
When there's actually like probably I don't know how is it 12 athletes make the 15 final?
I want
Or
to say
t-
12.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it is. I mean, not much more. Also,
No.
they don't even need to do everyone.
Right. And it would almost be the opposite. Like I feel like the 100-meter, the personalities we have are people that are, like Noah, jumping in the air, getting the crowd amp. I don't think someone like Jakob or Josh Kerr are going to be doing that. They're very laser focused. If not, the last one, honestly, out even on there, like
Yeah.
very subdued.
I mean, you don't need to be like they don't need to be jumping up and down screaming.
Yeah.
But even if they're standing there, and they're good for a point at the crowd and whatever they need. I think
Right.
it still would be absolutely fantastic.
It still would be. Now, something that was an experience for me, this is probably me just being a naive American who's only really gone to sporting events maybe centered around the American athletes. When he won, when we had 2 Americans even on the scoreboard be in the top 3, we were like the only ones celebrating in our section. And I like immediately, came down from it. It was like, you felt a little awkward. And I think that's the beauty and the curse of being at an international meet like this is you're surrounded by people who really didn't want that to happen.
Yeah, a lot of haters.
A lot of haters.
They really do. Well, and that's what, like, Noah's getting so much because he does talk a lot of shit. And when you talk a lot of shit and you're getting all this attention, a lot of times people are tuning in to see you lose.
Right.
And so people are really upset that he didn't lose.
I think that's what the men's basketball team, something came out. They all came out to kind of hate on him, or just the NBA fans, I should say, to watch him lose. But doesn't it make it that much sweeter?
Well, I mean, Noah did also really take on the whole NBA a few years ago.
Fair. But in a playful way. See, I think I'm the only one that hears those comments. Well, maybe I'm not the only one, but they're so playful. There's no like malice behind it. I really don't see them as like targeted, isolated attacks. I feel like it's just more lighthearted than people take it. But
I mean, he was definitely serious when he said like, an NBA champion isn't a world champion, and
Right.
But I mean, I still think it's funny to get really upset at him.
Right. But I know he went when he was on Pre-Classic like 2 years ago right after it happened. He kind of said it with a smile when they were asking him about it. He's like, I don't know, maybe I'm a marketing genius. I'm like, maybe he is. Maybe he just knows the right thing to say.
Well, because we're
talking
this
about
is
it.
The current scope of online and media is that negative stuff gets way more attention than positive things.
Right.
People love to see, he's gonna get way more attention being, quote unquote, the villain.
Yeah.
Than the good guy. But if let's say there's rumors that the USA basketball team was in there last night, even though you would rather have a U.S. athlete win.
Yeah.
Than anyone else. You still want maybe they're big Fred Curly people
I was just
now.
saying, they probably were hoping for that. Yeah.
But still, you would prefer Noah Lyles over the Jamaicans if you're USA basketball.
Over Kashyap.
If they were in there, they had to have enjoyed that. If that's their
Of
first
course.
real track meet, and then they got that whole light show and preview, and then Noah actually shows up and performs in such a historic 100-meter final. There's no way that those guys are actually serious about their beef, and there has to be a ton of respect shared there, I think, now.
We were talking about it yesterday when we were like, oh, the USA basketball team's like, man, this track stuff's actually pretty sick, and it's like, no, it's actually never really like this. Yeah, it's actually.
No.
I've been to a whole lot of meets, and it's never this cool.
Right. No, they're really
but
doing
man,
it up.
Let's say that's your first track meet,
Right.
It's a good way to
Yeah.
get people into the sport.
Right. You're gonna go to, I don't know, just a standard pre-meet, and it'll still be but you might be disappointed after you've seen the glitz and the glamour of the Olympic Stadium. But no, I think obviously having an American win, having Noah win for the Netflix series, for the story, he put his money where his mouth is. You can't not respect someone like that. He even, what we are hearing, wants his own shoe made from his sponsor. I think that's pretty epic. I think he deserves it.
Yeah, give him a shoe.
Give him a shoe. Make it Yu-Gi-Oh themed, right? Make him a Yu-Gi-Oh. Where's Yu-Gi-Oh brand been through all of this? I want a Noah Lyles Yu-Gi-Oh character. I think that's
He's doing a lot of free pub.
Yeah.
I'm talking about Yu-Gi-Oh. This is crazy. I think he has been. I think he does need some shoes. I think he's earned it. Right?
I think he probably will get his own. I feel like he's by far the most well-known sprinter right now. He is winning all the medals.
My mom
gets all the
texted
attention.
me. If your mom has texted you, know the name Noah Lyles, it's game over for anyone else. That's a household name. Right?
Yeah. Oh, he really is. At this point, getting to be that. You go online, everybody's talking about him. Everybody's posting him. He's he's. I wonder how much his his socials have gone up after that win last night and after the trials or after the Olympics in general. It's wild.
The other thing, and he gets a ton of shit for just being outspoken, but think about how much more boring that 100-meter final is without him and without his antics or his personality over the last couple of years.
Oh, it genuinely would be boring.
It's such a worse product out there.
100%.
And he genuinely is just pulling kind of everyone along with him by all the shit talking, by just being loud, being himself. Yeah. That final last night, that tension doesn't exist in the way that it did last night without all of his shit. Especially and having the gall to sprint down the home stretch while getting introduced. He's jumping, he's hyping the crowd up, and every time the camera's in front of him, he's doing something at the camera. And then to be able to pull that all back in, get into the blocks, and still perform. It's so sick.
It's so sick. I think it's so cool.
Especially when you can false start and just get booted immediately.
Yeah.
It's not like oh, we have an hour of
Mistakes.
gameplay out here that we can just go correct some mistakes. It's right there. That's it. You get one shot.
It's right there, and let's not forget about the heats it took to get there. He didn't win any of them. He was absolutely coming in as a quote underdog, maybe from the heats alone, that performance, but to have all the pressure on him to be in this pressure cooker, to me, that's what the Olympics are made for. Someone like him who can be shamelessly himself, doesn't give in, and and performs and competes. I think that's what we saw here. Not that, we talk about this times, play all that, maybe world championships. That's when that comes into play. The Olympics is about competing and competitors. And wow, it was just incredible.
It's so good. The rivalries between like countries now, like the Jamaica versus USA, that is fueled by Noah. It's just so much fun. It's so good for the sport, and it's like these guys don't have, I don't think, necessarily like bad blood. Like it's all, they understand what it is. It's a show. Like they're here to entertain us. Like of course, like you're running fast. You're doing like you're doing it for yourselves. But at the end of the day, this is a product. They're entertaining us, and it's the most entertaining race. They're building all this hype. They get so many people fired up. So many of the Jamaican fans are so passionate.
Yeah.
They love talking on Twitter and on social media. It's it's just so good for the sport, so entertaining, and Noah really is the one who's doing, he's the one who's responsible for all that.
He is, and I feel like I'm going to sound like a boomer when I say this, but my name is Karen, and it's social media, right? Like think of the Michael Johnsons competing back in the day. Yes, there were big headlines, but there were just maybe louder but fewer people coming at you with the hate or with the negativity. Now, we've seen it with Noah, and especially his mom, who had a comment, I think yesterday, just saying like, you have no idea the pressure that these people are under, and the power that one comment has, and it's not just one, it's like thousands, and it's just people, and then it's people like that comment, and so now it's not just one guy who said this. It's like 10K people also thought that and liked it passively, and maybe also think that. The smartest thing you can do maybe in this day and age is to tune it out and not let it get to you, because at the end of the day, you are human. But it doesn't really matter anymore for him, right?
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Anyone, and I think actually Noah's mom said this, but like anybody who's like actually trying to tear people down online, you're
creepy.
You're a loser.
You're odd.
You might not be a loser for the rest of your life, but at that moment in time, you're a loser.
It's embarrassing. If I see a comment from someone I like know with like something negative, I'm humiliated for you.
It's not a good look.
I'm like, oh no, Eric's gone down the drain.
Yeah, like if you see me like just like absolutely throwing hate online, I'm in a bad place.
Yes.
I'm not like no one that you admire or want to be like is trying to tear people down online. That's all you need to know.
If you are doing that, I know you're out on the street. You don't have access to a phone. You're lost. Like that's the Eric version. It's someone who's in a desperate situation.
I thought you said like I don't have access to a phone, but I'm just I'm tearing people down online.
You get the phone to call, and instead of calling, you just go on Twitter and you tweet something.
I'm at the public library. Logging onto my Instagram to absolutely tear people down.
It's the first thing he does.
I log out. I'm like, that felt good. I'll tell you that. God, I wish I had a phone.
God, still lost. But I got that tweet in. Oh, man. Well, we saw that incredible performance, today. This morning we had some sessions. Nothing that we're going to touch on right now just because we've had a lot of coverage, and we'll do more tomorrow from the results. But we're going to go over into the preview of what we have coming up. But real quick, before we do that, I would still love to get a couple trivia questions in.
It.
And Mitch is at a disadvantage for not showing up here.
Actually, this is really, if we're going to keep tally of the trivia over, the full Olympics, I think I'm trying to be a fair competitor. It is really unfair to leave Mitch out of a full day.
Is. I think we're going to go 2 questions.
Sure.
Just 2.
We don't even need to necessarily add this onto the total tally.
Really?
Look, I've got a pretty comfy 2-point lead if I'm remembering
Not
correctly.
on me. Not on me, Eric.
Shit.
It's 5.
4,
Mitch
3.
has got 3. I've got 4. So no pressure, but I am the one writing the question.
Yeah, it's a lot. It is different for you.
Oh, anyway. Okay, these are pretty easy. And I
see.
say that to really set up, the shame if you get it wrong.
Okay, cool.
So first, we're going to do 2. First question is, well, let's start with this. How many Olympic rings are there in the ring symbol, and what are their colors?
5 rings?
He's got it.
The colors.
This is where
Yikes.
people get tripped up. This is where they get tripped up.
I'm like color. I'm like, let me just go with the heavy hitters in terms of
Right.
colors.
Just think of Evan Jager's side.
Yeah,
Whoa.
honestly, I am trying.
That's
to
your
think.
phone a friend. That's your phone. You got your one lifeline
yeah.
taken away.
Red,
Yes.
green,
Yep.
yellow. There's got to be a blue in there.
You'd be correct.
Yes.
Now this is the tricky one. This last one. Tricky.
Jeez. I'm like, is it really just gonna be like Roy G. Biv? Red, yellow, green, blue. There's no way it's purple. There's no way it's. I don't think it'd be an orange, but because I feel like
Why not?
What?
Why not orange?
I don't know. I feel like with red and yellow. Ooh, now I'm. Well, I'm just trying to think of like what other colors. I'm like,
It could be a color. It could be an absence of color.
there-
It could be anything
Oh,
at this
okay.
point.
Black.
Wow. I mean, that was.
Yeah,
It was a really good hint.
Really.
What can I say?
You're like, Eric's not going to get this absence of color reference.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
right over him.
You're like, this will be funny when he doesn't get it. Yeah, sure enough, I'm like, gotcha, Biggs.
What did you call me? Not in this country. I prefer
yeah.
another word,
Yeah,
but I'm not going to say it. We're not going to say
if
it.
Mitch was here, he'd let it fly.
He'd let it fly. On that note, we're talking about someone from another country. That was a joke. I almost said it. But those 5 rings,
Yeah, what are they?
what do they represent?
Oh,
And that was I gave you a pretty good.
you gave us a pretty good hint. Really? Like, I don't know if he did give us a hint. Like, what do they represent? Like, being a good listening,
Look,
kindness.
you're not going to get that card today.
Yeah.
Don't even try. Don't. You left me at the train. Don't even try.
Honestly, I don't know what they represent.
All right. Real, and that's
Mac?
a man who says he doesn't know. Ladies, let's applaud that. Let's applaud that.
Wow.
And he got the word.
Inhabited
It's
continents.
the inhabited, so not
Wow.
7 were the uninhabited continents, but
Wow.
the 5 inhabited.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what they represent.
Continents.
Yeah. And I want to say this was back in the day. I think they're all still inhabited, right? I mean, we may have someone living on some of the. Right. People, so do they change it? Do they add in
They
a
should.
couple?
I'm shocked they haven't.
Oh, can you compete? Well, they'd kill the Winter Olympics for sure. Antarctica.
We just have to wrestle a polar bear. That's the judo heavyweight champion.
Right, and there's no one else in it but the Antarctic folk. Like
Yeah.
no one even makes it. No one's even close. Wow. Well, Mac, dare I say he gets a point.
How
Mac's in
about Mac?
the game.
How about Mac gets Mac can give his point to Mitch so the score stays even, or else
Wow.
Mac is now going to be a part of
You're
trivia
really
forever.
chivalrous today with Matt. You are missing him. Hey, it's okay.
Miss the guy a lot.
okay.
Also, it's like I think I still have. Am I still up?
You got 1, so you're 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess when people lose, I technically get the point, but because Mitch is not here, we'll give him 4. You're 6, 4. I'm still 4. I think Mac's in the game though. Mac's got 1.
Mac will do really well.
Yeah, you're good with that. Okay. We're killing it, guys. Trivia down. By the end of this, I don't know how many points it's going to be, but like that's how many beers, that's how many shoeies someone's going to have to do.
Was that what we were doing?
No.
Okay, I
But
was like, geez. like we're doing shoeies with points.
with points here. Lots of points coming today. with the evening sessions. We're going to be there again. I'm so excited. It's a little warmer out there, folks, here in Paris. Yesterday, decently, it cooled off, I think a little bit, towards
It's like
the end.
perfect conditions in the stadium.
Perfect.
It wasn't very warm, because it's all like in Eugene at the trials, it was warm.
It was, yeah.
Like you're sitting there in your seat, sweating, and there was a very clear divide of there's a shaded section and a sunny section, and really people are avoiding. They got to figure out how to make that sunny section shaded because habitable. Nice.
Give them a ring.
Call back right there.
Damn, you're good at improv.
Because they're just missing out on ticket sales in that sun.
Right.
It's literally just the entire. Everybody is sitting in the shaded section.
Right.
And then a few crazy bastards are out there in the sun, and they're just out, and you can tell they're like, all right, we're gonna call it. We're gonna miss. We're not staying for the whole thing. They got to figure it out. But no, yesterday it was like perfect conditions out there in the stadium.
Perfect conditions, especially for the sprints there. Maybe as we move into some of the longer distances, it might get a little hot. Maybe we'll see. Have we seen some aid stations out there yet? Did we see that for the?
Oh no, was there one for the 10K?
There was.
There was one for the 10K. Yeah.
And the 5K heats.
Did anyone take any water? No.
I didn't see that. Maybe that's what I didn't see anyone deviating. They were pretty locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like you do have to. I mean, if you want to get real technical about, actually, they're running too fast to stop for water. I mean, in a slow 10K, you can run some extra meters, grab some water. When you're at 26 sub 27 pace, you're like, well, I can't really stray and afford to run 10,050 meters getting water.
Do you think that they have bicarb out there and maybe like a lactate test? Like, you can run and prick your finger out there, throw it back on the table.
Oh, yeah.
Get a
No,
nice
I
read.
thought somebody had pierced their ear mid-race because their ear was bloody, but it was just someone was lactate test, and they saw...
Someone stop at Claire's and go get a piercing and come back.
Jakob does it, turns around, and he goes, I'm at 1.7, bitch.
Yeah, someone was like, Jesus Christ, I'm very lactic right now.
There's not even a range. It just says you're lactic.
It says, hey, call it. You guys shut it down.
Call it. Wow.
But yeah, so we got. I imagine. We probably will. I imagine we'll see some water for the 5K tonight.
Well, we've got two major finals tonight. Three, if you want to count Val, who's looking great in the discus here for the throws. But we've got the women's 5K final. We've got the women's 800-meter final. Those are the two key track finals that we're going to be there watching tonight. Walking through the 5K here, I believe we have 3 Americans going to the final. That's incredible.
In the 5? Is it in the 5?
In the 5. We've got Elise, we've got Whitney, and we've got Carissa.
Oh, yeah, we do have all 3.
Americans.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's huge. You got to be careful how you say that. Huge.
It's
in that hat. You got to be careful how you say
it's huge.
Watch it.
It's going to be a really great race.
Yeah.
The Americans are crushing it in the distance events.
Yeah.
The 1500 last night, they all made it through to the final. It's so hard to make it through to a final. Just the level that the sport's at right now. It's just making it to the final is an accomplishment in itself. But man, it is going to be. I think it's going to be a really fast race. It's going to be really hard. Whoever's pulling, I'm not entirely sure in terms of the 5.
Yeah.
But hopefully the Americans can just, hopefully they feel good and are, ready to just give it a really, really hard effort and see where they fall.
Well, making it to the final, making it to the line, like we've got 2 women, Carissa and Whitney, who have been pretty open about their injury struggles. I mean, I think it was Whitney who said, she underwent surgery to repair her left knee. She said something like she had 9 injuries in the last 8 years. Carissa, one of her, few races back was like the trials and qualifying here. So we're seeing these women pretty banged up. Chris has been outspoken saying like, look, this is the first time I haven't had Achilles pain. I'm just ready to soak it in and enjoy the moment here. I don't know how you're not lining up to a healthy Carissa Schweitzer and saying like, okay, who's getting, who's not, who's gonna be 4th, because she's totally in that medal contention. Elise Cranny though, with the with the 1,500 meter strength. I mean, I know we didn't see her make it, for the U.S. trials there, but she's got, that closing kick. I think she looked, out of all of them, the most incredible in the semis leading up to this.
Yeah, Elise she's a great competitor. She always runs really hard, and it seems like she's timing her build just really well. In years past, we've just seen her so dominant on the U.S. scene. And she, at the beginning of this year, didn't quite look like the same Elise that we've seen in years past. But, right before the trials, I think it was at the Portland Track Fest, 2 weeks before, she raced Safan Hassan, her and Carissa. And just you see the flashes of the athlete that had been so dominant, and it looks like she's regaining. We don't know. Maybe she was banged up too and is now finally healthy, but she's just coming around at the right time.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. And yeah, out of all the U.S. athletes, I would say that Elise probably looks the best heading into this final. But you never know how it's going to go. You never know. I'm thinking about the women's 800s yesterday. There's so many surprises, so many athletes that on paper, we thought were going to do really well, thought they were going to make it through to the final, and just came up, pretty short.
Yeah.
But I think this is a race that sets up really well for Elise, for Carissa.
Yeah.
Because I don't see this race being slow at all. I don't see it being slow, and I'm very excited to see. I said that Safan would medal in this a few days ago. I'm going to stick with it. I'm not going to turn back now. I think she's going to do it. I think she's going to medal. And
where do you think she falls? And I mean like in the medal contention.
I think she'll get silver or bronze.
Yeah.
I think that I don't see how. Kipyegon is so strong right now and so fast. It's tough to see her losing this. But
yeah. I was gonna say, who do you think sort of takes it? Like, do you think Teske really tries to pull it from a long way out to try to get away from Faith?
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so interesting, is because I think everyone's just terrified of Faith's speed over the last K or 2K.
Right.
That the other contenders like Beatrice or Godolph Teske, they have to pull from a really long way out.
Yeah.
And someone could potentially die there. But I think just the tactics up front are going to be crazy interesting. It's going to be a fast race.
It's going to be a fast race. I could see Beatrice or Sagai, doing the work. You wouldn't want to leave it to. They know that you're not just going to beat Kipyegon in a foot race over the last 800 meters or 400. If you want to leave it later, that's even worse.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to make it a really hard effort and hope she's just feeling slightly off that day. It seems like often the female athletes are honestly more brave and are more willing to make races harder from the jump. There have been so many times the male athletes don't want to take the lead and don't want to push it from far out, whereas the female athletes are always down to make it a hard race.
Yeah.
I do think it will be something like that, whether it's Beatrice or Sagai.
Yeah. It's
up in the air. I don't see Safan making it a hard race. But I could see, Faith Kipyegon maybe taking it from some, maybe from a mile, not a mile, but maybe being in the front before
2K to go or something?
with maybe a K to go or something like that,
Under,
or maybe even 800 to go, even if it is a fast race.
I find that so interesting. Why do you think that happens? Because someone who's only competed at the collegiate level here, you see that in a lot of conference finals too. I mean, that was the most tactical, I think, as it can get sometimes for those points. You're really running as a team. You see that a lot with the male races. There's a lot of gaming and a lot of tactics, and people not wanting to take the front. They'll go out slow. I mean, I've seen races where it's the women's mile goes out harder than the men's in a 5K round. And I don't know what that is. I do think like, yeah, with women, we just see more people taking it to the front, making it an honest race, not wanting to leave it up to chance. I don't know what that is, but we see that a lot.
We're soft and have a lot of excuses.
That's what I wanted you to say.
Yeah.
Is that right? I mean, like, look at, I don't even know if it's overconfidence because we're not willing to go hard early. I mean, look at like NCAA cross. How many women like just fall at the finish line because they're dead exhausted?
Yeah.
And I feel like the guys are like, I got stuck out there. Sorry, coach. It's just like, I guess I'll try harder next year.
The guys come through the line not even sweating. And it's like, I just didn't really have it in me today. No, I think often it is a fear of if I'm the guy to make it a hard race, I'm not going to be the guy that feels good at the end and closes for the win.
Yeah.
I think that's changed a lot. I think honestly, like guys like Jakob do change that, and not making it a sit and kick race. But yeah, I just think often it's not necessarily like in your best interest because it's for one. Everybody's so fit that it takes incredibly hard efforts to be able to run from the front and drop guys.
Sure.
It's just very tough. It's a really hard strategy to be able to do time and time again, and it also mentally is just much harder
to take it.
It's almost like, do you have enough faith that your fitness is there to get you to like where you like want to be?
Yeah.
Does that make any sort of sense?
Yeah.
It's like, I believe that I'm fit enough to run all out. Like and perform well.
Well, see,
like if you, I don't know. For me in my career, I guess it's like no. If I go do that, I'm going to die. I'm going to end up last. I'd rather end up 8th.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't know. It's something I don't know. Kind of
So
interesting.
it's a confidence thing because I do think from the female perspective, I usually see it as like an adrenaline thing. Like guys want to leave it to the last lap and beat each other and make it like a game, like a video game. And I that to me, that's what I perceive it to be.
Well, I think a lot of it is like if you're a 12, like if you're a 13 flat 5K guy, you're not for the large majority, basically like almost 100% of those guys aren't going to get that 13-minute 5K by running from the front alone and doing like pulling. They're sitting on a rabbit up until 4K to go, up until 4K with like a lap or two to go, and then like being able to pull from the front. It's just so hard to run from the front at your all-out effort and still be able to win. It's just incredibly tough, and you see women be able to do it better
because we're tougher.
Because you're tougher, you have a much better
and way
pain
more
tolerance.
Frequently.
And
they do it
more
all the
frequently.
time.
Oh, yeah.
We're
Also,
tougher
like,
more frequently.
I can't even imagine, going through the entire NCAA system, because almost every women's NCAA race is like that, too. Even through conference, I think of someone that's like Michaela Rose. It's like goes out, and she ran 158, 159, 2 flat, every single race that she stepped on the track this year. And, like, every one of her competitors is like, oh, shit, here we go again. You know, like, you're doing that every single time, and I feel like the women, especially coming through the NCAA system, but also I guess globally through the tiers of professional running, they're just so much more calloused to running all out all the time.
Yeah.
Compared to the men, where we just there's so many more opportunities to sit and kick.
I feel like we just like a plan, right, fellas? We just like a plan. We like clear next steps. We like just a general direction of where things are going. I think that's what it is. It's just like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. We did see that from Michaela through the trials. I thought, and everyone kept being like, is she going to mix it up? Is she going to, switch up her tactics? Maybe I think that's a component too. We just want, it laid out, a little blueprint.
I think it's also like, there's something where like the female athletes are like, look, I can run this on my own, and if I do that, there aren't a lot of other athletes that can do that. And guys don't like really have that, where it's like, look, I might run well on my own, but I really probably will just blow up, and I might DNF.
Yeah.
Like it's you don't like it's just a whole different thing. You would see like in women's races, it would be like the gun goes off and then 2 laps in, there's it's like okay, here is it's like 1, 2, 3, and that's how they finish. And you've got that, and it's set in stone almost. It's so much different. It's cool. I mean, yeah, the female athletes are a lot tougher mentally than the guys.
I guess moving on to like if we're gonna see some front running, can we move on to the
I was
the
going to say
800?
someone who's not afraid to, I think, take it out and even maybe pass a pacer is Keely Hodgkinson. And we're seeing a women's 800 meter final. We've got one American that's made it. Still incredible. Juliette Whittaker is coming in from an incredible semifinal. I thought she looked super strong. I think we're going to see something exciting from her. I think medal contention. Like I think she's top 3.
Oh, nice.
You sound like you're going to differ.
Yeah, I do think. I think she made it in on the I think she was the last qualifier in. It's just it is one of these events that is so tough. She ran 157 yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, it is just this event is just taking a step up.
Right.
It is that's a really fast time. I'm sure that's got to be a PB for her. To not have even a day in between. She's coming right back today.
Yeah.
It's gonna just take a huge effort to. I think top 5 would be a great day. It's Keely. Aisha was on here last night talking about could Keely get the world record?
What is the world record?
153.
153. What do you think?
No, I mean it's probably that's just an absolutely insane record. It's like one of those they probably should knock it off the books and start again.
Why so?
Because it's just one of those.
It's a little too unbelievable.
Well, I do think if you were to say like, oh, what events would you bet were the athletes were dirty in? You would be the women's 800 is probably
is probably
one of the easier events where you, like DraftKings would have that at like a minus 1,000, probably over that they were on something. You see the athlete who did that, and she looks like Omanyala. Could be a linebacker.
Yeah.
In the NFL. I think.
Have they ever been convicted? Did they train under
murder?
Anyone dirty?
Convicted of murder.
But that's fine.
Yeah.
It's just the
Murder.
record.
You're actually right about
murdering
that.
her competitors.
Yeah. No. Oh no. If she was convicted, I think they would knock the records off.
Right.
But just that record, I don't think she's got a shot at. I doubt necessarily. I doubt she's thinking about that record because if she did, maybe she would have conserved a little bit of energy yesterday and not ran. What did she run? 156 yesterday.
I think 156, and she's run 154 right this year. I think a lot of. Go ahead, Mac.
Oh no, I was just saying. I think that someone like Keely thinks of these as separate things. Like you don't have to have to break the world record and win an Olympic gold in the same race. Like that, you don't get 100% extra bonus points for doing such a thing. Like you may as well just try to win your first Olympic gold and then I don't know, try to break the world record in 2 weeks or something like that.
100%.
It doesn't act like there's no extra.
I agree.
Unless you're trying to like really establish yourself as one of the best ever, which she could be trying to do, but I think her focus is definitely on just trying to win.
Well, it's something you got to remember about Keely is she hasn't, been the bride here in our analogy we're always making. She's always been second or third, to our two key players, Mary and a thing who's not there. So I would agree with you that the world record isn't on her mind. One, given, her effort in the prelim yesterday, but also let's just punch that ticket. Let's just get that gold. Let's seal that deal. She's so young, right? She's got all the time, I think in, the next, part of the couple years leading up, even into the worlds to chase times next. Once you get that staple of global approval, then you start worrying about, chipping away at maybe some record books.
Yeah, I think it's like, look, this is already such a big moment that you're kind of putting more on your plate than you need to by saying, hey, let's try and become the fastest woman. It's like, look, just let's try and get this gold medal. That's all you need to worry about. I think that one of her biggest competitors that could have, knocked her off that gold medal spot was Gemma Ricci, who got eliminated yesterday.
Pretty brutal too. Ran out of absolute gas there at the end, it looked like.
And we talked about it yesterday. I think Aisha brought it up or something, that she ran just a lot of that race, on the very outside of lane 1, almost in lane 2. So to come up short in that race, those little things aren't so little when you are really operating on the line like that. So tactical errors like that. And she was in front. It wasn't like she was sitting on the shoulder of the person in the front, staying out of trouble in a slow race. Yeah. She was kind of pushing the pace from the very shoulder outside of lane 1. It adds up.
Right.
But Mary Mora, it looked really good. I can't see.
Real strong.
Seems like she's destined for that podium. I don't really know. I can't. It's not necessarily like the
an
who's
easy third. Yeah.
I don't know who stands out as the third competitor to me. So we'll see. It's incredibly exciting to see who's going to get that one.
You don't think a world record's going down? What time do you think is going to be run? I was going to say, Mac, if you want to weigh in on that third spot.
I think a 155 would be a solid. I think I'm going to go with the 155, whether it's high or low. That's still really fast.
We forget how fast that is.
It's so fast.
Yeah.
After 2 hard rounds,
right?
It's a 155 is. You were seeing yesterday. 157s are dropping. So 2 seconds off that.
Right.
150. I think it'll probably be around there. Keely's run faster than that this season, but that's on fresh legs on a one-off race. Yeah. You can't, with 2 rounds in your legs on the biggest stage with all the nerves, with all this stuff. It's going to take even that 155 will take a lot, and will take to execute that.
Sure. I think in order to run 154, they'd have to go out, obviously extremely quickly, and I just don't. Unless Keely is actually going to just run the whole thing and be really intentional about taking the lead from the break, I don't see that happening. And the only person I see that is kind of savvy enough in this field is Mary Moore, and we've seen her not be in the shape that she was in last year, but she seems to be coming around. And last year she was just notorious for running the first 150 so hard, getting out to the front and then slowing the whole field down. And I think we could see her do something like that in the final, because she knows that she can't run 154, and her best bet for a gold medal is making it a 156 race. Yeah. And how do you do that? You have to make the first lap slower. So I would love to see some sort of gamesmanship like that, just so that Keely doesn't run away with it and we get, kind of an interesting race. I think Mary Mora gets second unless she has to really fight Keely pretty hard for the lead. Then I see her fading to third or fourth. That other medal spot, if I'm going to go with Keely and Mary, I would love to see Juliet. What a dream season. I love the U.S.'s selection policy. I love our trials, because in most other, I think of Australia or the UK, Juliet probably isn't selected to make the team.
No.
And now we're here, and she's the only American in the final. Wow. And if it weren't for our system, she wouldn't be in this final, which is it's just the coolest thing to me.
Yeah.
What a dream season for her. As a freshman in college, 2 years ago, she's winning high school nationals. And then now she's in the NCAA system, wins indoors, outdoors, makes the U.S. team in her first trials. Now she's in an Olympic final. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But if it isn't Juliet, I would love to see Frances Lamotte. The French one.
My God!
The stadium's gonna go
the
wild.
The place would just go wild. And
yeah, we'll have a light show.
I'm so happy that we're going to be in the stadium to watch that, because that place is going to be just bumping.
I'm a Frenchman. When you're in that stadium, you can't help but be rooting for France.
Yeah, you
The-
wear
this-
that hat like in the stadium.
I pull up in this and I'm parlez-vous français. It is.
Chain smoking.
It is. Yeah, I got a pack of smokes on me. You can't tell me shit. They're
And I've tried.
It is so fun when the French athletes are doing well. I would love to see if it's not an American athlete. I would love to see the French athlete.
Yeah.
And that, oh my God!
Look who rolled in.
Look what the cat jag did. My best friend.
Ooh-wee. We've got
Is he gonna pull right in?
Mitch.
Let's do it.
Back from the stadium, everybody. Last
Yeah.
2 minutes. We're capping up the 800 here. We're talking about who we want for third. I mean, it's the usual suspects. It's Carrie. Oh my God, it's Keely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello. You're sweaty. I'm gonna say it. You're sweaty.
Okay. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Mickey's like, yeah, it's good to be here.
Yeah.
Like, you look like shit. You look like shit. Smell
Yeah.
like
10
ass.
bags of shit, dude. So thanks for coming.
Oh, you got the sunglasses? Any?
No.
No, you don't want. Okay, that's
Anything
fine.
else? What else? Oh, yeah. I actually
Well,
did
I
know-
just wanted you
actually
to
did
blend
notice.
in. Yeah, Eric.
Yeah, no, I'll wear 'em.
Eric's been really concerned, like talking about you, missing you. Really, kind of.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
I miss you too. Thanks,
Oh
mate.
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow.
Guys,
Oh,
I just
wow.
wanted this shot. I wanted the shot for the show, just like this.
These
Yeah. I feel like.
I'm about to go rob a French bank.
Yeah.
I don't
I feel like a degenerate. Anytime you wear sunglasses inside, you're a degenerate.
really, I'd never. What?
know.
Why else would you wear them inside?
Like a
what-
like a
Because I look sexy as fuck.
like a rock.
Yeah.
You're talking about like rock star. Like it looks pretentious.
No,
like,
that's. I mean, it's cool as fuck, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's like very degenerative behavior.
yeah, but it's sunny enough in here.
No,
I
I'm
think.
about it. No, I'm
No,
not
you-
knocking.
backing off.
It sounds
All the
like you
degenerative
knocked it.
behavior.
Okay. Yeah, you
just-
can't come in here sweaty like that and then be talking about degenerate
Fuck. I
behavior,
know.
man.
Karen, knock it
nerve
off
of
with the
What's
sweatiness.
the problem with the sweating?
You can't be looking like that and being like, oh.
ass up the stairs.
Yeah,
I'm coming back from the track.
Yeah,
to
for
the
those
stadium.
for those who don't know,
4,000 fucking
we are about
degrees.
10 flights up. It takes
the rest.
it takes a lot.
Yeah,
The
it's,
rest.
we're at altitude right now.
Takes
I'm
a lot.
convinced.
Takes a lot
Karen's
to get
like,
up
hey,
here.
It's 40 degrees.
Yeah.
And you're walking up the stairs, but can you cut the
Celsius.
sweat? Can you start sweating? Yeah. It's like, oh, sorry, let me bring a fan around with me.
Oh, you're glistening.
I'm not 3 Sheet Jenkins over here.
You
I
should
don't have the luxury of
You should have walked. You
Oh
should
my
have heard we were
goodness.
filming and waited until we were done. That's what
I should have.
we were talking about in the beginning of the show. Whether or not you're like, Mitch is probably stoked he doesn't have to do the show.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't really time it around making it back. But
didn't
it's just, I
prioritize.
did walk in and thought honest to God, I walked through the door and thought, I'll say hi to Mac. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh.
You're like,
gonna
they're still
jump in?
on. We'll have to
It's
cheer
like,
for
sure.
you.
No, thank you. I appreciate
yeah.
it.
We
Like,
missed
really,
you.
It seems kind of like I'm too sweaty.
We missed you.
You come really late. Won't bother jumping in.
Right.
I'm really on
The,
two sides.
the
of
elephant in the
yo-yo.
room, though,
Oh yeah.
the elephant in the room, though, is for the viewers. I just want to assure them, when are we doing the shotguns? Because we're placing these bets, and
So-
I just
Yeah.
want to assure them. I feel
I could have brought some cans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would also like to say I did knock out one shoey. We got it on camera. We will post it at
You
some
did?
point. I did. Not, yeah, remember?
on the show.
No,
No,
like a few days ago,
yesterday.
right?
Oh yes, no, yes.
I want to be clear.
Yeah.
It was unprompted, unasked,
Well,
and
look,
Eric was just like,
here's the thing.
It was a situation
Here's the
like
thing.
this.
We promise a lot of shoeys
Yeah.
and like shotguns.
You're right.
And then
You
push
did
comes
it.
to shove. We aren't doing them. Right?
So I owe, just to get on the shoey tally, Karen and I both owe
Oh,
you one.
a shotgun.
from
Shot-
the-
you're not
a
even-
shotgun.
you're
no
Yeah.
shoes. I didn't. There was no shoes promised in
I'd
that one.
almost rather do the shoes, and we don't have to go buy the
You'd
cans.
rather
We got
do
mini
the shoes?
Well, the beers are here. We got shoes on our feet.
Oh,
I mean,
we
may
don't
as
have
well do it.
cans.
Yeah.
I'm talking about convenience.
You're right. We do need
The,
cans.
Yeah.
the beers and the
You
shoes
can
are here.
shotgun a glass beer. I will fucking
Typical
be
guys like,
bow
well, what do
down.
I got in front of me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, let's go plan and get
Yeah,
cans.
I'm like, no.
Let's just go buy
Let's just
them.
go
we got
walk down
bottles,
the
we got
stairs.
shoes,
Yeah.
Let's do this thing.
We could do
No.
it
I'm
better.
not going back down there. I'm not coming back
He's
up.
not going back.
I'll get more sweat.
Yeah, like,
Karen
oh,
will be
God,
like,
you-
"Hey, don't come
you look
back,
like
dude."
shit,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you look like shit earlier. You look fucking awful now.
Right. Somehow you
Yeah.
come up dry, or we're like, I don't know what
Oh,
happened
you
down
can
there.
look worse. Cool.
Can, but okay. We're gonna get that on
that.
camera for you guys. I think maybe
So what
we'll
are we talking
film them.
about? What did
We're
I
talking
come in on?
about
What?
third
Yeah.
place for the 800. We're going to wrap it up
Actually, no,
here.
you can give.
So who's got the gold and
Let's
silver?
no. Why don't you
Right.
tell us
Give
your gold and
your-
silver?
Yeah, don't be. We don't want to influence you
okay.
on what the right answer is.
I thought I was getting away with just the bronze.
Yeah,
but
you're like,
I'll give you the
you're
whole
like,
thing.
no, I'll just give bronze.
Bronze sounded good.
Yeah.
No.
Well, Keely wins.
Okay.
That's my tip. I'm assuming that's the clubhouse.
That
leader
was
for
clubhouse,
everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Mary
Right.
is hard to look past. so I'm
Okay,
gonna
we're on the
say
same.
probably
We're on the
Mary
same
in second.
page, brother.
You're close. Snaps.
And
we could have just skipped to bronze.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, I thought it'd be. I thought
Nope,
it was-
that's
No,
a picture
no,
of
we've
a-
had nothing
That's just
up
a
here.
mountain.
We've
it's a
been
hell
just
of a map,
eyeballing
buddy.
it by memory.
Mitch is just like, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow, is that where?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, is that
majestic.
America? I'm trying to remember the full field.
Yeah,
You know,
well-
I have just walked
We don't.
96 flights of stairs.
We don't. We,
don't have a
We don't
feed.
have it.
Yeah.
Were you impressed with us the whole time? We don't
Wait,
have a feed
So Juliet.
We don't have a feed.
Juliet,
because we just wanted to impress you with our
We're doing-
knowledge.
I thought we were crushing
Wait,
it.
Juliet, and then I'm trying.
There's
seriously trying to remember the rest
Juliet.
of this field.
We were
Um,
we were talking about
We're
the
talking
French
about the
woman.
French woman. We were hoping. I was
Oh.
saying that I
We
hope
wanna
the
see
French
that.
woman
Oh,
comes
thanks,
in.
Mac.
I
We
was
want
hoping
to
the French
see
woman wins.
Lamotte. We want to see her absolutely crush because of the electricity in that stadium. We were saying if we could do it, if we could get citizenship anywhere else here this trip, it would be France, just to be involved
Okay,
with
so
the
Australia
synergy.
can just go fuck itself then, I guess.
I'm talking about trading in.
I mean, honestly, Whitaker has a pretty good chance to take bronze here and run fearless.
That's what Karen said. I said top. I said top 5 will be a good day.
Top 5 would be
Yeah.
that would be
Yeah.
Incredible
a
for
great performance.
where she's come from. I mean, off an NCAA season, we're talking about how
Yeah.
tired these people are. PRing in a round before, training through it. That's going to be like insane.
I mean, look, there's only one woman under 156. So that's going to be pretty hard. The second one is Mary. So look, there's so many in there that are 157
Right.
women.
Right.
Maybe depends really on what Keely decides to do. I mean, this
Right.
whole race hinges on what Keely decides to do.
Well, we're saying if Mary, who historically has taken out the first 100 meters, as Max said, and slowed it down, what's Keely going to do? Does she take it? Does she make it a more honest race? And then also, what's the winning time?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Keely does have good 400-meter wheels. Like she raced it at their Olympic trials. So I think if there is a kick, obviously she's going to be hard to stop. Mary's got one of the best kicks in the world. I mean, I think it's quick. Okay, I think if Mary goes to the front and slows it down, I think Keely moves around. I don't think she bothers to wait because what would be the point? Like, you leave too many people in the race that way. If you're the only one who can run sub 156 on paper, I guess you kind of don't bother. And she's looked so easy in the heat and the semi that she could honestly run another 154. So I think Keely runs in the 154, 155 range. I don't think she drops down below that. I think she would have needed some company, maybe like a Thing or somebody to roll with her to go faster. But I'm going to say she wins it in 154.
Point what?
0.8.
All right, I'm going 154.5.
Okay.
I said in the 155s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be anything insane because she's the only one that's capable of running under 156 right now. Maybe she drags some athletes. If she runs 154 point, maybe she drags second and third into 155 territory. But I think she's going to have some pretty good real estate.
I just think it's going to be fast with the synergy. I think you touched on that before, Eric. But like going through the rounds, I mean, I know she doesn't have a medal under her belt, but her season has, I think, been medal worthy. And when you come in with that type of momentum and energy, I know she's been through the rounds and they've been fast. You know, she hasn't been dogging it. I see her as going low 154 point. You know, I'm going to go, I'm going to go 0.5 or under. That's going to be my bet. I just think she has the momentum and energy to do it. And as we talked about before you got here, the women are doing it. They're running on their own. They're not needing someone to chase. I know you said maybe having a Thing in there is going to help her. I think she's a workhorse. I think she's solo. She's been doing it solo the whole season. You know, why doubt her now type of thing.
Yeah, I think like on the point of Juliet, like I think she has potential to medal in that field given how close it is together, but it's literally going to be a matter of like how long can her body hold up? Like how long can she continue to have pop in her legs after such a long year? So I mean, she's clearly a fighter. Maybe she'll throw her name up there, but she's going to have to beat some quality women. It'll be a jostle for bronze.
It will.
Okay. Have you guys said who you think's going to be third?
I'm
No.
gonna say no.
I'll
Oh,
do
no.
mine, but
No,
I'm
we haven't.
curious.
We have not given a solid answer, but
Um,
why said Juliet?
Yeah, you did say
Or-
Juliet.
yeah.
oh, it's really hard. They are so close together, hey?
Yeah, you're looking at the times. I feel like you're really looking more logical.
I'm gonna
you
say-
know
I'm
what?
gonna say Lamote.
Oh, who are you going? The French woman?
The French woman.
Yeah.
I'd love to see Marnie Mahoney, Shafiqua Mahoney
Nice.
get up there. She actually, sorry, first of all, best kit at the Olympics, just about. Is that the Bandit kit that's rolling around? Yeah, that is unbelievable. I love their kit. But second to that, like she's actually looked really strong in that closing 200, particularly in that semi. She really held her own. So if you're talking about a race conversation where there's multiple women that have run 157,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be the strongest woman at the end of it that gets up and gets the medal. My only concern with Whitaker is the fact that she's run X amount of 800s. Adrenaline, though, kicks in finals, so you don't know. But I'm going to go Marnie Mahoney. I'm not sure if the pronunciation, but
Yeah.
I reckon she might get up for the bronze.
Incredible. Well, that's not the only final we have going on besides the women's 5K, the women's 800 meter. We've got the discus. We've got Val Allman looking to repeat her Olympic champion status here. She's had a great build up. I think she's thrown 71 right so far. She's got some big competition, on the verge there, right next to her. We've got Sandra Elkovich. I should say. I don't know. It sounds like I should say it with my last name correct. You got it. Can you say it?
Alkovich.
There we go. Incredible.
Sweating a bit there, Karen.
Yeah,
Look,
turn
a bit
the
nervous and sweaty, aren't you?
turn the
All
sweat
right.
tables on her.
Alkachevich. Alkazovich.
Oh,
There we go. What was it? Bin Feng.
and Bin Feng from China.
Yeah.
So it's Croatia, it's China, right on
Thank you, Mac.
Val Allman's tail here. Looking forward to that. So incredible. We've got a lot of Americans competing today, and I think that's just something to be so excited for here. It's going to be electric. Well, I think we're going to wrap up the morning show here, fellas. Mitch, you made a final
Hell of a
appearance
shift.
here.
Yeah.
At the
Yeah.
end, heck of a shift clocked in. Yeah, well, there's no
Yeah.
hourly rage, by the way. It's
Hell
just
of a
like
shift.
it's just a one and
Just gonna
done.
make the show.
Same
Yeah.
thing. This has been the morning show. Karen, Eric, and Mitch, powered by Asics. We're so excited. We're going to give you more recaps tomorrow. Here every day, guys. Keep tuning in. Thank you again, and au revoir.